You have activated the podcast from the Psycom Network.
And now, on with the show.
Welcome to Retrograde, the show where we buy a retro game from 2001 and put a 2013 engine in it. This is episode number 33, and today we'll be discussing the PS2 title Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. My name is Jack Marshall, and joined today by Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
Suzanne Fisher.
Hi.
And James McFadden.
Hi.
Woo! Back once again with the Retrograde Masters. Gran Turismo Week. Boom.
Gran Turismo Week. That's National Gran Turismo Week.
There's no timing for this episode, we're just doing it. But, I'll go first. I've been on holiday. Do I look brown?
No.
No, I know. You'd be surprised to say that I did actually sit by the pool.
That is why the episode's
What?
slightly late, by the way.
What fact?
Yeah,
that's why the episode's
this episode is late this week because of me, because I stupidly, in my defence, it's not my fault, it's the French trains and buses systems are rubbish. My flight was at 9 o'clock, I couldn't get there in time. I screwed up, true story, I screwed up everything on this holiday. I forgot to check
Almost everything.
I forgot to check my bag in. I forgot to...
You forgot to check your bag in?
I turned up and they were like, you didn't check this bag in. I was like, what does that mean? They're going to have to pay 30 quid. I was like, oh God.
Wait, what? So when you went to check in for your flight?
When I was on the website booking my flights, honestly, they were like, do you want a hold bag? I think I want a hold bag. And then, do you want a cabin bag? I was like, I don't know, what's a hold bag then? I was getting well confused.
Hold bag goes in the hold, cabin bag goes in the cabin.
I don't know, I don't own a plane. But,
What? How? You guys know this, yeah?
I own a plane, so I do know.
I've never flown on my own. But anyway, I nearly forgot my passport. I walked out the door, had to run back and grab my passport. When I got there, I got taxis, thinking taxis would be the same price as they are here. They're not. Taxis in France are like a hell of a lot more expensive.
Really?
And they know you're
Oh my
English,
God.
so they put it up.
Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. That's what really annoyed
Did
me.
you speak to them in English or speak
I
to
said
them
to
in
him,
French?
how much is this going to cost me? And the guy was like, 48 euros. And I was like, okay. We started driving, it was like 10 minutes. I was like, there was no way that was 48 euros. But anyway.
Did he charge you 48 euros?
Had to move my flight. Yeah, he charged me 48 euros. He was actually chuckling as he was driving. And there was
Of course he was. You were a mug.
There's a French radio station on. I thought it must be a comedy show or something. It was adverts. So I don't know what he was laughing at.
Laughing at you for me. Oh my God.
I had a great week though. The only thing I did interesting nerd-wise was I read the whole pretty much Walking Dead back catalogue on comic books. Really good. And a comic book called Blankets I've never read before. That was actually really interesting. And apart from that, I read not much else. Oh, I read The Great Gatsby.
So you had a reading holiday.
Really short.
It's very short.
More iPadding.
Oh, okay.
Actually, to be honest, saying that, my Nexus 7, my little Nexus 7 tablet, that was used a lot more. My iPad barely went on. It was interesting. Interesting, not really.
Interesting.
But,
Wow.
what have you guys done while I've been on holiday delaying the podcast?
I have banter. I'm now an uncle. My sister had a child.
Yay, Uncle James!
Which is cool. I get to be the creepy uncle. Maybe the cool uncle once or twice, but
What's the
primarily
name
creepy.
of the baby and what sex is it?
It's Alexander, and it's a male, funnily enough.
Give it a go.
Have you been to see him yet?
Not yet. I'm going to go up soon. Apparently, he looks really like me as a baby. Not now. He doesn't.
I was going to say, came out with
doesn't have,
a massive black hair and bright
man's
blue
face,
eyes.
hopefully. But yeah, whenever I call any of my family, he's always there screaming in the background. Quite vindictive, that one already. Not taking a massive shine so far, but hey, that's cool.
He might, you might be like his favourite, and then
Maybe.
as soon as you hold him, he's quiet.
Perhaps.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Hopefully, I don't drop him on his head. That's one of my
You should be
primary
fine.
fears.
The head goes in the crook of the elbow. Yeah,
crook
just
of
remember
the-
that.
okay,
That's
right.
that's the crook there.
The front of the head or the back
The
of the
bit
head?
that when you look at it like that could be a bum.
I see.
Put the
Baby
head there.
grade.
And then the bum should go as near your hand as possible. If you can get it in your hand, then that's perfect. So you can hold the baby with one arm, you see, and you've got the other arm to do stuff.
That's clever. I might try and hold him with two arms, though, just in case.
Yeah, two arms,
'Cause-
but yeah, the head in your elbow.
All right,
Did you see
James.
the little hole in its head where you could put a Lego block?
No!
James, the takeaway is if you can get the bum in your hand, it's great.
Yeah, generally I find that to be
No! You're so wrong.
I didn't know babies.
Congratulations.
I didn't know
Thank
babies
you,
were
it was
born with a
very
hole in their head. Like I was playing when I saw my little nephew, I was putting pens in it and stuff and seeing if I like a swirl around.
Are you sure
Really
they didn't
strange.
just
That's in its brain!
I know. There's a hole.
Do you know
into
why
its-
babies are born with a hole in their skull?
Because the skull is folded
Bad
like almost
parenting.
on top of itself, and it has to like pop back out again, like a Kinder Surprise. Right?
In order so it can
so it can
come
get
out of the
lady's
vagina.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Vagina
Otherwise
without
it's
it ripping open.
Otherwise, the skull wouldn't get through. Which is a bit. I mean, that's evolution not working, really.
What are you on about? That's evolution working brilliantly.
No, that's like ridiculous.
What, the fact that
The kid comes out like a Meccano set. It has to build itself after it's come out. It's ridiculous.
But you can't give birth to a fully grown human. That would be ridiculous.
That'd be weird.
Get to work.
Congratulations, OJ.
Yes,
I'm an uncle.
congratulations.
Welcome to the Uncle's Club.
Oh yeah, but you're quite a lot older than me, aren't you? So it's a bit less special. Special. Also, I was playing a lot of Arkham City, and I take back everything I've said about that game because it is quite fantastic.
Oh, cool.
So,
Wait till you get to the credits. I'm in there. Look under special thanks.
I didn't know you had said anything about the game.
Yeah,
That
I
was
mean,
bad.
if you
Yeah,
pay
he said-
attention,
he said
I
he-
quite often criticise the Arkham games. But
Oh,
still don't like Arkham Asylum, but City's really good.
it's very strange.
What have you two been up to? Anything interesting? I don't know why I put you together as a collective term, but
We do everything together.
I've gone back to work, so summer holidays are
I
over
heard.
for me.
I heard you all plan to strike on your first day back as well. Did I read that
No.
wrong today in the newspaper?
I don't actually belong to a union. I should
Oh, do
probably
you
do
not?
that, otherwise I won't get to strike. And
I just run
get my
things
day
in the
off.
news, like, teachers' first day back, they've all planned to strike.
No, like, first day back every year, there's always a union meeting.
Are you
about
not like,
what they've done
automatically
over the
put
summer.
into like a union when you become a teacher?
No,
Really?
yeah, you have to pay to join a union,
I'd
and
do
you
that.
pay an annual thing. Yeah, no, I keep meaning to, but I keep forgetting.
We should join the podcasters union in case we ever need to strike.
I don't against who?
No one.
Ricky.
Against me, no one would notice.
But yeah. Oh, I went to Game last week and picked up one of the shiny Pokemon that they are releasing as a build-up to X and Y. So you have to take your DS plus your copy of Pokemon White 2, Black 2 into a game store and then ask them for the shiny Pokemon, and then they will transfer it to your DS. And then you've got that Pokemon, and it's a level 100, and they're shinies as well, so you can't barely find them in normal games.
many levels
And
are
they're
there?
rare legendary Pokemon. There's 100 levels.
Oh, I see
They're
what
rare
you're
legendary ones. The one I've just got is Dialga.
So you start the game with a level 100.
No, you don't start the game. You have to have
say.
played it a bit to activate the mystery gift function.
I don't like that trend though, because for a lot of games that involve collecting or like leveling up or stuff, there's always some retail outlet that's going to be like, oh hey, if you pre-order it from us, we're gonna
No, I didn't have to buy anything.
Well,
I didn't have to pre-order anything. I didn't have to buy it. Literally, I just walked in. I was like, "Can I have that shiny Pokemon?"
My point's
please?"
just-
and they were like, "Oh yeah, sure, transfer it over." Bye.
Does it not devalue the thrill of finding another shiny Pokemon in the wild now because you've got this super good one?
Oh no, that's still there. That I've still got like 500 Pokemon left. 350 Pokemon left to catch. But this is just a super special giveaway that I can have, and I thought, well, why not go get an awesome Pokemon?
Yeah.
And then there's another one out in a week and a half, and then there's another one out 2 weeks after that, and then X and Y's out, and you won't see me for a
It's
few weeks.
almost as though it's really effective marketing.
Oh no, it is. I mean, I was going to buy X and Y anyway, but if they're going to give me some free Pokemon, then I'm
Yeah.
going to go get them.
You see the 2DS, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah. Why
I
are you
would-
excited about it?
I
It's
would
a
be- I would-
3DS that doesn't fold.
I would
I've
be
been-
so excited about
oh.
that if it wasn't so ugly.
It is hideous.
It's grotesque.
It's meant for children, though.
in-
That's why Jack likes it. It's because
In the Nintendo hardware design area, there must just be some nutcase in the corner who keeps just shaking off because the mini Wii thing came out as well. That wasn't that much smaller than the Wii, and people were like, "What the hell have you done here?" Like he hit it on the head with the Game Boy Micro. They were like, "Good idea, give him a few more things." And now he's come up with the 2DS, which is the most ridiculous thing.
It's just one like
It's
ninja
to
guy.
stop.
Has really
It's to
small
stop little
hands.
kids breaking the 3DS,
Yeah.
or their
weird.
DS. But the problem is that
Well,
now it's really big. It's not convenient to carry in a pocket.
And
It's
it's
not
for-
convenient
Yeah.
to carry in a handbag.
Especially
like-
for their eyes as well, so they don't hurt their eyes. And apparently kids can't work a clasp, so they just have it flat and open. It's really strange. If
It
it's
is
if
odd.
it's like 50 quid, I'd go, "Oh, fair enough."
And it's not.
How
It's
much
not
is it in
even.
the UK?
It's not even the
Don't
extra
know.
large screens.
I don't know.
Because
It's not even the
quite a
extra
lot
large
cheaper.
screens.
But I've got a real problem that whenever some sort of weird, crappy hardware like the Ouya comes
Yeah.
out, I just have to buy it. I'm fascinated. I'm like, what? Like, I want to get a 2DS, get it out on the bus, show off, go, yeah, my 3DS doesn't even fold. That's how old school I am.
Oh my word!
Anthony, what have you been up to?
Did you guys hear about the new Pokemon anime series?
No.
No.
It's called Pokemon The Origins, and it's based on the original Japanese red and green releases, not the red and blue releases that we had. And so the character isn't Cash Ketchum? Ash Ketchum, and he doesn't have Pikachu from the start. It's the character you play in the video game, and you get to choose. He chooses one of the three.
Which
starting
one does he
Pokemon.
choose?
I think he chooses Charizard.
Charmander.
Oh, well, Charmander. So the picture I saw was him with Charizard, so I'm guessing that's...
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
So it's based on the actual games rather than them making up their own story. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You might be for kids, though.
Is
so
his
maybe-
surname Ketchum?
Ketchum.
Ketchum, and he catches
Which
it.
is meant to sound like Ketchum, yeah.
Right.
You've discovered the secret.
Didn't know that.
Have you not?
No, never
Spoilers.
Oh, my word.
Jeez.
Oh dear.
But other than that, I finished Last of Us and then Dishonored.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm finally getting back to
So you did finish The
Darksiders.
Last of Us?
Yes.
That was no.
Then I'm finally getting back to Darksiders 2, so I'm trying to finish games.
I began playing Bioshock Infinite just before I left as well. It's fantastic. Really enjoying it. Really good.
Whereabouts, sorry?
I've just stolen the flagship thing. She knocked me out, and then a bit of spoilers actually. Just knocked me out, and now I'm just been kicked out again, and that's it.
I see.
It's alright, it's good so far. I'm surprised how well the mechanics work.
Yeah.
It's typically Bioshock though. I don't know why, I can't really explain it, but it's just like, just as you're about to get bored, they bring in some sort of new mechanic or something, and you go, oh, and then you play for another 50 minutes going, oh, I'm about to get bored again. Good. But yeah. But, anything else? Anyone else got anything they want to show? Any share? Share?
No.
No, we're all done. Although the Xbox One release date was announced, November the 22nd, a week before the PS4.
I actually looked at the launch lineup, and there are more exclusive games that I'd be interested in than the PS4. But I mean, for me right now, Microsoft is Satan, and I'm never.
Titanfall appears to be a game that will make people buy an Xbox One, assuming they don't get it for the 360 or PC.
I don't know, joking.
So I'm glad it's
It's
available.
going to sell way more than the 360 and PC combined.
I'm glad it's available on the PC because I want to play it a lot. And it's a Source Engine game, which blows my mind.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Who uses the Source Engine anymore? I like it because Valve are awesome, but it seems like only Valve are really using the Source Engine.
Yeah.
It's great.
But apparently it's the only reason they could, it's the only way they could get 60 frames per second.
Well, the new HDMI 2 cables has been announced now. It handles 120 frames per second. More than the human eye can even see. Incredible. But yeah.
I think the old ones handle 120.
There's a lot of tech news actually. The Android KitKat just got announced as well.
What's the Android KitKat?
It's the new
Android's
Android
new
release.
like OS.
And they've named it after a brand name, which is kind of strange.
Yeah.
And it was a completely mutual agreement.
It'll be a deal. It's great advertising for KitKat, isn't it?
Well, apparently there wasn't a deal made because I read about it recently. They just
some
decided
strange,
to be
some
kooky with it.
behind closed doors, but I don't know.
Anyway,
we should do the competition.
yeah, the Paul Monahan giveaway.
Woo!
In the last episode, we offered we didn't. We offered a chance to win something if you retweeted us on Twitter, but we didn't say what it was. But it was The Last Remnant, which we announced on Twitter, and we got a lot of entries.
Loads.
Yeah, a lot more than we usually get.
Yeah, most we've ever had.
So either we're becoming popular or everyone wants this game. There's only one though, but it's The Last Remnant on Steam, so you will get a Steam code for that. The winner, is Blade Butler 4. Which I'm not sure of the origin of that name, but we're going to be contacting you on Twitter and sending you the code when you reply. The next episode, we're giving away Grid in honour of this episode's game, which is Gran Turismo racing game. You know, wanted to give away a similar game.
You might be worried that Grid 2 has come out and rendered Grid 1 redundant, but don't fear because Grid 1 is much better.
Yeah, I've heard that Grid 2 isn't as good, so that's why we're giving away Grid 1 because I know it's great and Grid 2 is more expensive.
It's much cheaper, yeah.
Yeah, much cheaper. But we're changing the competition entry rules slightly because some people are entering the competition without meaning to or knowing that they are just by tweeting at us, which is a bit strange because then the people who want to enter the competition don't get as much chance. So what we're doing now is
it's almost as though it was a really bad idea to do things that way in the first place.
It worked until now.
People bumping into me in the street have been entering the competition as well.
Yeah,
that guy at the bus stop's entered.
He won this. No, but this time around we're going to put up the tweet like normal, and you have to retweet to enter the competition. So there will be a couple of tweets that say retweet this to enter. You retweet those, you'll be entered. But if you just tweet at us, you won't be entered this time. So that's how it'll work from now on. So if you want to run Grid, wait for our competition tweet, and then retweet it. You'll be in.
Yeah. Piece of cake.
It's Grid, it's not a piece of cake.
Today we've been discussing the PS2 title Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. But before we do that, let's have a brief blurb on the game by the founder of Cyclone.net, Brecky W.K. Thomason.
Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec is a simulation racing game and the first in the Gran Turismo series for the PlayStation 2 console. During its demonstration at E3 of 2000 and again at E3 of 2001, the game's working title was Gran Turismo 2000. A demo copy of the game under that working title was issued in the PlayStation Festival 2000, allowing players to drive a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 5 in the Seattle circuit for 120 seconds. The objective of the game is to win all the provided races, championships, complete license tests, and achieve 100% game completion. Every 25% of the game completed results in the player being awarded a car as a special prize. The game was a critical and commercial success. It went on to become one of the best-selling video games of all time.
Thanks for that, Brecky. Just a quick reminder, if you're enjoying this episode, you head over to iTunes right now and pop down a lovely review for us. Every reviewer gets a lovely limited edition super rare badge. You can also follow us at Retrograde Show. So, James, you chose this, Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. Why?
Yeah, it's a racing game, innit? I just thought it would be... it kind of goes against the grain of what we've been doing, which is sort of 2D retro platformers. And it represents kind of a genre of games that I think is not often looked at. Not the simulator, but kind of the luxury game, if that makes sense. I think for me, Gran Turismo 3 was one of the landmark moments in gaming in which it kind of started to become serious. Like, this is a thing that maybe people who don't just like games are going to get into.
Why more so than 1 or 2?
Well, I don't know. They just felt more... the PlayStation 1 was it was harder to use. It was harder to make things happen on. I think with the PlayStation 2, the fact that this was so outlandishly good looking at the time, it opened it up to a wider audience. And just people
outlandishly.
This game was beautiful when it came out.
I remember an advert for Gran Turismo 3 where it's just a car. Like, it's a racing, like, you can tell it's a racing video game, and you run by, and then the car just stops, and it just lets the sun kind of slowly go past, and the trees move. And that was the advert, and it just ended. Yeah. And I remember being blown away.
It's gorgeous. I mean, it's still gorgeous, but so yeah, I thought it'd just be cool to look at because it was a pretty big deal. Fun, good.
So,
yeah.
Your review on it now?
Going back, I mean, I'm not a massive gearhead. I don't like cars that much. Or simulators, but for what it does, I think it does incredibly well. Even now, it's so Japanese. It's very Japanese. But it's still. I think it's surprisingly realistic for the time. I mean, I've never actually driven a car, but it feels like what I would imagine driving a car.
Driven a car?
No.
Oh wow.
You control those with the X button as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pedals just for show.
And I always remember, this was actually Gran Turismo 4, but I remember Jeremy Clarkson doing a segment on Top Gear where he drove a car around a track and then drove it in Gran Turismo 4 and he's like, oh, it's exactly the same. And I think Gran Turismo 3 kind of it's so realistic. I think it does appeal to sort of people who aren't into games, and I can definitely see that when playing it because it doesn't really feel that much like a game. It's more like a sandbox with certain features that you can test out different cars on different tracks and stuff, and it's just quite relaxing. It's almost hypnotic to go like through the courses and try and get the best times and stuff.
Yeah,
it's quite an interesting question it brings up because I hadn't thought about that. If a game simulates real life accurately enough, then if you didn't have the progression in there, for example, wouldn't it stop being a game?
Well, it depends on how you define games.
That's true.
I wouldn't classify this as a game. Well, just saying.
Listen, something I've noticed over the years, your definition of games is getting increasingly narrow. This isn't a game, Transport Tycoon isn't a game.
Interesting you brought up Transport Tycoon, because that's what I was going to liken this game to. But we'll get on to that in a moment.
I think the progression features make it a game, and that's what does it.
I think the fact that it's interactive 3D media makes it a game.
This is obviously a very... difficult topic to discuss.
Yeah,
it would take longer than an hour.
Maybe let's put a lid on this one. Come revisit it.
Like us on Facebook and tell us what you think about.
Send us a tweet.
This, well, we need more likes on Facebook.
All right, like if you think that this is a game, like us on Facebook.
I know, like us on Facebook and then post on our wall and say like, hey, this is what I think about the topic, guys.
Yeah, or do that by all means. Definitely, we'd be happy to hear.
Yeah, need more.
So you find this game enjoyable because it's hypnotic?
No, that's just one aspect I think is enjoyable. I find it enjoyable because it does something very specific very well. I think there's not really... I mean, there's a recent sort of game series called Forza that does the racing genre a lot better than Gran Turismo does now.
Oh,
but
sorry, Karen.
It's...
Whoa! Slow news, Dad. Go
on. But that's a bit more arcadey. I think in terms of this pure, like, insane simulation, Gran Turismo is the only one really doing that, except for a few fringe indie titles on the PC. And it's just fun to go back and to do this for a while. I mean, I like sort of seeing how the game renders the physics models and stuff on the real life tracks.
Those few indie games you're talking about on the PC are taken extremely seriously. Because I remember seeing this video where they got the, I think it's called, it might be in Project Cars, there's a few different titles that, or maybe Race Club or something, that simulate cars very accurately, more accurately than Gran Turismo.
Oh yeah, definitely. They are like the crazy enthusiast ones. Like you're going to get the massive sort of racing seat, steering wheel.
And there was like the best guy in the world at one of those games. They put him in a real Formula 1 car. I think it was actually Formula 2 because Formula 1's probably too dangerous. Yeah. But he drove around the same track he was already familiar with, in the same car he was already familiar with from the game. and he posted a really good lap time.
That's amazing.
The only problem is that he just because he'd never driven one before, just because of the game. The only problem was that it made him like throw up in his helmet because he couldn't handle the G-force.
Yeah.
And obviously that's not simulated in the game. So I thought it was really interesting
That's
that
kind of a strong argument for the fact that then, because I've been playing Call of Duty so much, give me a gun, I should be pretty damn good at taking down.
Except that's
some
not an
mofos.
accurate simulation.
It's not.
Simulation.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But then, unless you have all the kit for this game,
Yeah.
this game is also not a realistic simulation
Yeah,
of
you
driving.
can't really.
Well,
learn to
yeah.
drive
I mean,
through
it can teach you about sort of cornering techniques like momentum and acceleration and stuff.
Yeah.
But actually, it's
Yeah.
not going to help you steer and.
No, and all
Yeah,
that
it
cornering
doesn't. It
stuff.
doesn't simulate the experience of actually driving unless you have the pedals and
It
gear.
just simulates the physics, I think.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it simulates the physics.
Yeah.
But you could get like a wheel and pedals. It might feel different though. And
It would
throws
feel
away.
different in an actual car because
Yeah.
you've got all the different tensions and everything.
Yeah.
What do you think of Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, Anthony?
It's obviously wants to be taken very seriously, and as listeners of this show might know, I don't like games that take themselves very seriously or want to be taken seriously. So, like the lack of explosions for one, and the lack of guns for another. It's almost so realistic, though, and this is my main problem, that it seems a bit sterile or stale.
Yeah.
Because this is what I'm saying. It gets to a point where it's less of a game and more of a simulation, and the two might be one and the same. But I like games because they're very fun, and while this is fun for things like the progression, the actual driving, it's not. Like for example, there's not much of a sense of speed, and that's probably what they're going for
Yeah.
because it's unless you're driving a very fast car, and then it's harder to control. But there's other games that are much easier to control but have a great sense of speed, and that's a more visceral experience. You get this emotional feedback.
Yeah.
So this is for people who are very serious about cars mainly. But even like you mentioned Forza, that's got things that make it more game-like, like the line on the road that tells you when you should slow
Yeah,
down and things.
yeah.
And that takes some of the pressure off me to try and be a perfect car driver. And
Also, it's quite a lot less realistic in terms of the physics.
yeah,
model.
so and I think that's a better sense of speed because I quite enjoy things like Forza and some of the more arcadey races.
Burnout.
But yeah, that goes too far away from simulation, I think. I mean,
Crazy Taxi. Super Mario Kart.
Super Mario Kart is very realistic. But before we already kind of covered that. So listen to our first show if you want to hear my impressions.
Hop.
Hop. You mean the hopping cars?
Hopping cars.
Yeah, that was in there.
You should put that in Gran Turismo.
One thing I noticed that seems a bit strange is that you have these amateurs apparent amateurs racing around in very cheap cars, like a Ford Fiesta from 2002. And although having said that, the game's probably released before that now.
Game was 2001.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like we got the first car. That was a brand new car then. But these people drive around very cheap cars, and there's huge crowds by the finish line watching them race at 100 miles an hour. And who are these people paying tickets to come and see a guy racing around in a 98 Ford Fiesta?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Against a PT
Right.
Cruiser. It's like, yeah, these guys are great. I don't
know. I'd love to see.
Got my hot dog.
I'd love to go see a Formula One race where there's a Ford Fiesta trying to go around with them. That'd be fantastic.
We lapped about
Make it
60
more
times.
interesting.
But apparently there's massive crowds of people wanting to see this stuff. So that's a
Yeah.
bit unrealistic, and that kind of stuck out to me. That's
Yeah.
why I thought I'd point it out. Maybe when you get the faster cars, they should increase the crowd size. Maybe in the new one they do that. You know, these Japanese people are crazy. But it is fantastic looking. Can't disagree with that. Still, it looks good. But that kind of ties into the sterile thing. It's a very realistic looking game. It's not
Yeah, it's very sterile.
like the environments aren't anything spectacular. They're just realistic. But I mean, for the time, obviously now they. I remember seeing a video recently for the new one, Gran Turismo 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looked just so boring.
It does look really boring. They've the series they've just been rehashing the same ideals. It's not really progressed.
Well, I
since
think
then.
people like those ideals. It's the same with Call of Duty.
Sometimes,
and
but I mean,
FIFA.
obviously not as
And
much as
Pokemon.
Forza
Pokemon,
because Forza's been selling a lot more recently.
Yeah, I think they decided to put more fun in,
Yeah,
like the Warthog cameo from Halo.
yeah.
But the upgrade system, the progression in a racing game, I think is excellent, and it's obviously considered excellent by everyone because so many other companies have taken it up, developers, and it seems like this was the first one that really put that in. Well, not this one, but Gran Turismo in general.
Yeah.
was probably the first racing game where you could upgrade your car, and it had a real. Basically, they put an RPG in the racing genre, and I think that makes people go crazy. Like they put RPG. Infinity Ward put RPGs in Call of Duty in the first-person shooter genre, and that's become the most popular game of all time. So I think putting RPG progression systems and stuff makes it better.
Yeah,
That's just a
definitely.
general blanket statement I'm going to make.
Well,
and,
really, in general, because I mean, nowadays it's so ubiquitous that I think it kind of grates.
I think those games would be worse without though.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's just
Everyone likes to see how well they're doing. How well they're doing.
Yeah, and you can choose, like, it's a matter of choice for your character. You can choose where they progress.
Yeah.
When I was on holiday, I was reading my Kindle books. I love the fact they tell me what percentage I was through the book. I don't know why.
They put an
I loved
RPG in
it.
your Kindle.
It even told me how long I got in minutes left till I finished a chapter. I thought that was brilliant.
That's weird.
It made everything a challenge.
Oh,
Why
based
do
on
we
how
need
quickly
that?
you already
Yeah.
read. That's very
Have you
clever.
seen
So
Have
good.
you seen the Black Mirror episode 50 million credits?
Love that
Oh, I
episode.
love that one.
That's my dream.
That,
in
and
the
that
future.
doesn't
I want
speak
that.
to you in any way.
Oh, I'd
but-
love that. Oh, it's so good.
Speaking of which, I'm seeing Charlie Brooker a week today. I
Wait,
forgot
what?
to say that in my banter.
How?
On a date.
He's doing. They're showing at the Duke of York's. They're showing 2 episodes of Black Mirror. Then there's a Q&A with Charlie Brooker afterwards.
Is it sold out?
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I might have to put down.
£10 a ticket it was. So Neil and I going.
God.
Do you think it's sold? It probably sold out by now. isn't
Sold
it?
out within half an hour apparently.
Oh, damn.
I saw it on Facebook, and Adam Bastrop posted it, and then I posted it to everyone. So I did.
Well, I mean, I still blame you, but hey,
Sorry.
it's all right.
Can I buy your
Sorry,
Can I buy your ticket off you?
Yeah, £3,000.
Go on, Anthony.
The only final point I had to make was basically my summary, which is that from a modern perspective, there are games I prefer just because they take some of the pressure off. They're slightly less realistic, slightly less simulatory, simulationary.
You'll get there. Go on, keep going. You'll get there.
Simulationized.
I'm not sure there is a word for one.
Simulationed.
Yeah,
Simulized.
Simulated.
simulated.
Oh my god, that took way too long.
Oh my word!
I was ready to give up.
I thought you were joking at first.
I was thinking there's no word for it, guys. So I've discovered a gap in the English language.
I thought Jack was joking. I didn't realise you were actually trying words.
It's too hot in here. My brain's breaking. Brain don't work so good.
Simulized it, didn't you?
It's less simulized in modern games like Forza and everything, so I prefer those. But from a perspective back then, because we try to balance it out, this was the first, well, this genre is the first of its kind, and I have to applaud Gran Turismo for taking the genre in this direction. Yeah, applause. So great for the time, but now I think there's better alternatives if you're not a complete gearhead.
I'll go next since I think Lizanne's got very negative things to say about the game. Which will
I
probably
was
take
going
us
to be
to-
very positive.
Oh,
but-
really? Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to think. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great game. I love the fact I remember back on the PS2 and the PS1, Gran Turismo just became that game. I don't really know what the kind of collective term is for the games of these, but it just became like a staple of the console. Like
Yeah.
you went round a friend's house, they had Gran Turismo 3. Like if you said like even like last year we were on holiday with my mate, he brought his PS4, and you didn't even need to.
Wow.
PS3.
He works for
sorry.
Sony, does he?
PS3. I didn't even need to ask. It's like what games you've got. There's always going to be a FIFA. There's always there's probably going to be a Call of Duty, and you're probably going to have a Gran Turismo if you've got a Sony. It just is the game. But the thing is, that's not a bad thing. That's because, and I feel the same way about FIFA and Call of Duty, even though they get slagged off, and I think. And they almost become kind of like what's going to be the one that beats them, and they almost become like they've got to be taken down, which is a shame because the reason they're so popular is because they are amazing games. Like
Yeah,
they're fantastic. Gran Turismo is an absolutely fantastic game.
It's
Sometimes
almost an institution.
yeah, and it can almost be like a victim of its own success. So when something like Forza comes along and does something slightly different, people go, "Oh, that's what Gran Turismo should have done."
Well,
all
Gran
along."
Turismo was also a victim of the really poor game design later on, so it wouldn't feel
that's
too
true.
bad.
The only thing I was going to say, and yeah, like I've never even owned this game, yet somehow I've managed to play like hundreds of hours of it just because I played around friends' house. It's good fun, always great split screen. It's a great game. The only thing that I'll go on that you guys were saying, which surprised me a little bit, was I don't. Well, there's 2 points I was going to make. Firstly, I don't think the game is as realistic as you guys seem to be saying it was. The only reason I found is because I found maybe it's not the cars or the handling, it wasn't really. It was the AI. It was freaking awful.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the fact that I found very often I'd be racing against like these Mazda MX-8s or whatever, and then I'd be in this like little Fiesta thing pulling up, and as long as I got in front of them, I would win the race because they just stay in the racing line. I'd just block them. So it'd be this hilarious kind of almost comedy moment of them just bumping into me from behind.
Yeah.
Like a conga line, just going around the laps.
My favourite was always to go on the inside around the corners and use them, like bounce off them
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
a much higher time.
You could just use them as a break and things like that. And I know, okay, they can't make it so realistic that if you did that in real life, obviously it'd be carnage. People going everywhere, bodies all over the floor. But that's kind of what surprised me. And I actually found the game, it was surprisingly easy. Like I didn't. It was tricky. There was still elements to do, but generally I didn't find too much of a challenge in the game. But then again, I never thought it was really. It was always nice to try beat your own time trial, try beat your own scores, but it wasn't too much of a challenge. It felt like it was almost slightly grinding sometimes, in that you just turn off and you're just racing and you're just playing. But it does it so well, and I think it is absolutely fantastic for it. Graphically, it's fantastic. I think the soundtrack's freaking awesome, especially when Feeder comes on, who are one of my favourite bands, and like I could just stop and listen to the music. Absolutely fantastic. I've got the soundtrack if anyone want me to read out some of the songs they had. Muse are on there.
Oh, really?
But Muse, I'll quickly find out for you. Muse have got the song Sober.
Oh, cool.
Is in there. But yeah, I just think it's an absolutely fantastic game. I think there's loads of versions for it. It's so detailed. There's so many cars in there. They've really covered every base. The only last thing I was going to say about, but this is, I guess, just my gripe sometimes with simulation games, is I laugh whenever they say things like 50,000 car engines and all this. I don't give a monkeys. Like, as long as it sounds like a car and it sounds powerful when I'm in a powerful car, I don't care. I don't care if they've sat there, which is what they do, and they like weigh down the G's of the car and they get the air resistant noises and then they get the engine noises. I don't give a monkeys. Like, how am I ever going to know that's the name, like the noise of that car? Like, I'm not. Do you know? It's great because it more shows an amazing attention to detail. I always remember watching a making of Return to Castle Wolfenstein on the Xbox, and there was a guy who was a bit of a nutcase, a designer, who had loads of guns. He was like, "We have modelled every World War II realistic gun, so it fires bullets like it does realistic." But then at the same time, they had lightning guns that were firing out lightning, and I was like, "Well, I just didn't care. I don't." And I'm not saying this is a bad thing about Gran Turismo, but it kind of shows something that I don't really give a monkeys about that maybe other people do. But like, and I remember like when they were doing, I think it was Gran Turismo 5, people moaned because there was like only certain cars had cockpit views because they didn't have the time to model them. And I was like, who gives a monkeys?
Well,
people
it's an extra little piece of immersion. It's a feature. I mean, do you care if Gran Turismo 5? Do you care if Grand Theft Auto 5 has a like multiplayer? That's a feature. Like,
no, I guess not. But it's just. I don't really know what my argument is here. I just think I don't really care.
Jack doesn't know what he's talking
Jack,
about.
listen, please never preface a conclusion to what you're saying with, I don't really know what my argument is.
But do you know what I mean? It's like there's so much attention to detail that I kind of don't care. Like I always remember in Metal Gear Solid 2 there was a bit where it was like the guy came on stage at E3 or something. He was like, if you knock some ice into a bucket of water, it will melt over time. And
That's so cool,
and people
though.
went like, my God. And I went, I couldn't give a monkeys. Like in Max Payne.
So Jack, just so we're clear, you don't give a monkeys.
In Max
No, he
Payne,
does, I think. I
like,
think
in
you get
Max
the impression
Payne
he does
2,
give monkeys.
I remember in Max Payne 2 they were like, if you walk along the floor and you step on the bullets will actually crunch. And I was like, couldn't give a toss. Like,
Really?
Well,
Really? So
things-
you basically, what you're saying is you don't care about attention to detail.
No, there's some things I really care about. Like I remember in Halo when you look down you can see your legs. That's a good thing. I was like, that's awesome.
So but it's just with you, it's arbitrary. Legs good, bullet casings no.
But if they said to me, we've got 50,000 audio steps for him walking on different materials, I'd be like, I could have given you 10 and I wouldn't have noticed any difference. That's my point. And that's even the car engines.
I very much agree with you on this point.
I would rather they just got 50 car engine noises and then focus on making another lap, another course, rather than go, well, we only got 4 courses in the game, but we've got 60,000 car engines for you. Boom. It sounds exactly like a Nissan 350Z. And I was like, really? Because I've never sat in one, so I wouldn't have a clue anyway.
I think your argument is that you're saying they shouldn't point out the attention to detail and make it like a feature of the game. They should just put it in there.
I guess so. I mean, the number of cars is still impressive, so I'll give them that.
You just reminded me, with one of my favourite games ever, Left 4 Dead 2, I was really surprised when I realised that in one of these, in one of the maps, there's a chain link fence lying on its side acting as a sort of ramp, so you can get up to a higher area. And you can't walk on chain link fences regularly in the game because they're chain link fences and they're vertical. But this one's horizontal and you can walk on it, and when you do, it makes a chain link fence sound when you walk on it. Yeah. And I was blown away that they... Because that's hardly anywhere in the game, it's just this one map, I think. I was blown away that they put that in just because at one point you would be walking on a chain link fence. And I was really, pleasantly surprised by it. But if they'd come on stage, like you say, and say, we've got chain link fence noises in this game, then, I'd be like, tell me something more important.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with Gran Turismo, that insane attention to detail is one of the main features.
Yeah, I think the crowd that usually buys it that's what they're looking for.
I guess my argument is that I don't care too much for that. I mean, I don't care too much. I guess it is, I'm saying, a simulation aspect of it. But I find stuff about it incredible, like the rally aspect. It was the first version to bring a rally version of the game in, and that's absolutely awesome. I mean, that's fantastic. And there was little things, like I love the, like, after a race, you can do the replay straight away, and you can change views while you're watching yourself race, and all that stuff's fantastic. Even just like the way they put, like, like when there's heat and it simmers off the ground and it's kind of blurry a bit. Oh, it's so beautiful. And in summary, despite what I've just been saying, I think it's one of the greatest racing games ever made, because it's just a staple. people, it's Gran Turismo 3. I don't know if it's I've not played all the versions enough to say which one's the best of all 5 of them, but I'm guessing the further along you go, the better they get, kind of like Tiger Woods or something. It's not like FIFA. FIFA's all... I guess I just get better. But anyway, sorry, I'm going on too long. It's brilliant.
Before I forget the point, I just want to say that you were talking about how Forza's come along and done something slightly different, so maybe people say Gran Turismo should have done that. I was thinking that I think the reason racing games on the Xbox 360 have become very popular and people are maybe sort of turning away from Gran Turismo a bit is because the 360 had proper triggers. That's my theory.
Interesting, yeah.
It's definitely a contributing factor. I mean, it is so much more ergonomic.
Yeah.
Although on the PS2, didn't they have pressure-sensitive face buttons?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a trigger.
But still, driving with a face button is just a bit weird now.
Here's one weird thing I will say, though. As much as I love Gran Turismo and think it does it really well, I did like Project Gotham Racing more.
PGR was amazing.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Don't know why. Just really liked it a lot more.
Yeah.
EA Ghost, whatever they're called, who are making the next Need for Speed game, Rivals.
Yeah.
It's not Criterion, but they're apparently helping on the project, so I'm a bit wary of it. But EA Ghost, which are EA Gothenburg as well, they've like switched names around or something, are made up of
Bizarre Creations?
Yeah, X-Bizarre, loads of different racing companies that make good games. So I'm kind of looking forward to it now because
that'd be cool.
it's not just like a shovelware company, it's, looking good. Anyway.
Lizanne, what do you think of Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec?
So I'm one of those people who, when I watch Top Gear, I don't pay attention to the actual car reviews. I watch them being silly
Does
and making
anyone
idiots
pay
out of
attention to
themselves.
the car reviews on Top Gear?
People who enjoy Gran Turismo, I imagine, would. I don't care about cars beyond what colour is it?
Did you just get a new car?
What shape is
You were
it?
excited
I know.
when you got your new car.
Yeah, because it's green and it's a convertible. I don't care. I don't care about the engine size, like the speed. I like it to go fast.
Lizanne
but
picked up me and Anthony. We had to get in the back seat, and you had what steps blaring out?
Of course, I had steps blaring out.
Roof down on the motorway, doing 90. Me and Anthony.
No, we had.
Jesus Christ, it was terrifying.
I was going 80 because you didn't like going fast.
80's fast. I'm a bad passenger.
I know you are.
I also worried because the seats, there's not much room in the back seats. It's obviously like a convertible car. So I was worried that if there was a crash, I'd be dead because I'd just be pancaked. Be like
on the back of Laura's head.
On the back of Laura's head, yeah.
But yeah, beyond the colour, the shape, and the speed, I really don't care about cars. In terms of when I'm presented with an engine and how to look after it, I can check the oil. I can top it up.
Check your dipstick.
That's checking the oil.
Yep.
I can fill up the water squirter thingies.
Window wipers.
That's it.
No, called that.
I can't do anything else, and I have no interest in learning anything else. So this game is barely even a game. It's like Transport Tycoon. It's too realistic to be fun. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
because
Makes sense to me.
Because driving a car in that game, it's not like actually driving, because the fun of actually driving is that you are actually moving this 1-ton vehicle around, and you can feel the engine responding as you're pressing the pedals. You can feel it turning. You can get those G's when you're going take a corner that little bit too quickly, and you can feel it. And it's a very sensory experience actually driving. And with Gran Turismo, they've gone for that same realism, but there isn't that same experience. It's not sensory at all. Visually it's stunning. Visually it's lovely, but the landscapes are a lot more boring than what
definitely.
we drive around in England, because it's driving along a country lane is much nicer than one of those things. And it's like Transport Tycoon. It's you said it earlier, James, it goes into a very specific niche in terms of how far you can customise these cars. And, Neil was showing me, because I really didn't care, but bless him, he really wanted me to love it. He adores this game. I was really mean to him. He adores this game. He adores this game. And he was showing me, he was like, but look how many alloys you can choose from. I was like, I just want a wheel. I don't care what it looks like. I just want a wheel that works. That's it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's a 5-pronged alloy. It was so.
I understand these sound like more preference than a criticism of the actual game.
The game does what it says on the tin. It is a driving simulator. Mm-hmm. You can pretend to drive these cars as long as you like. and that's it.
I wish that was the blurb on the back of the box.
Well, that's all it does.
But I mean,
It's like, oh, okay,
cars.
so here's a car. I'm going to drive it. I have now driven it. I will change the colour.
but
I've
listen,
changed the
hold on,
colour.
there's-
you really like Pokemon.
Oh no, yeah, Neil was using the Pokemon argument to me. It basically
There's a Pokemon argument?
Yeah. I have no interest in cars. Therefore, the customization and the realistic driving does not appeal to me at all. Because that's not something I'm interested in. Just as out because Neil kept saying, "Yeah, but you love Pokemon, I hate it," and so he was saying that Pokemon he's not interested in that whatsoever. It has no interest for him. He's never going to play a Pokemon game, and if he tried, he'd hate it. And so it is purely. I'm fully aware of the fact that it's just the fact that I really don't care this much about driving.
But if you were to abstract the fact that driving isn't really an appealing topic, do you think? I mean, is the game well made?
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's very well made. I was really, really impressed at how many cars they had to choose from. I liked the depth that it went into in terms of how far you could customise it.
Yeah.
It's all really impressive.
Do you think it's aged well visually?
Oh yeah, no, it has. It still looks brilliant. And Neil told me that they got permissions from all the manufacturers to use the cars, but they weren't allowed to show damage on any of the cars ever whilst they were doing it, which I found quite amusing.
I think Project Gotham was the first game that they kind of got that allowance to.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
huge
just
thing.
that was because
like,
to show the damage.
Microsoft
Yeah,
had so much money, they could just
they
throw
put
it
so
at
much
the
into it.
manufacturers.
People were
Yeah.
so excited to smash up a Ferrari.
I know, but it's just it is. I can appreciate that. Yeah, to the right person who cares about this kind of thing or finds those aspects quite interesting or enjoys, driving along and hearing the different engine sounds. Like, yeah, this is an amazing game for them, but for me, who has no interest in it, I can appreciate. The gameplay was great, the physics engine was great, it looked brilliant, the level of detail was great. Yeah, it's very easy to play. It's not like you had to do a tutorial to find out how to drive.
Is it? I mean, obviously, it's probably a combination of both, really. But is it the subject matter that you don't like, or the fact that it's an in-depth simulation? I mean, if this was an in-depth simulation of a topic that did interest you, would you?
Well, that would be like Pokemon, which I would love.
Pokemon a simulation? I mean,
yes.
I mean, if it was a Pokemon simulation, which it was really difficult, and you had to go through rigorously, make sure everything was okay, would that be appealing to you?
It would depend on the topic.
I see.
That it was.
Yeah.
If it was something that I was really interested in, then I would play it and I'd go through it and I'd be fascinated by it.
You're not inherently against the simulation genre, just
no, not at all. It's just this is a simulation topic that doesn't interest me, like Transport Tycoon.
Most simulation
no
games,
interest.
But like
really boring.
Fundamentally, though, the game is. I mean, okay, it's about driving cars, but fundamentally, the game is about winning and trying to come first.
Yeah.
So, did the competitive element of it not?
I didn't
interest
feel that
you?
because I found it so dull.
Yeah, fair enough. So
Because
you care if you won.
I didn't care if I won. I said, like, the first race I did, I sat there and I was racing. And I said to Neil, is this actually it? Like, I just hold down this button and move this, and then there's nothing else. There's no challenge. He was like, yeah, no, that's it. All you got to do is win. And I went over the finish line. I came first, and I was just like, I feel nothing.
Lisanne, do you like The Sims?
No.
Why?
Because it's boring.
I see. Is that boring because it's a simulation?
I don't know.
It's also the subject matter because it's just people living their lives.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to think of.
I don't find that interesting. But I've said this before. I like quick, easy rewards, and the thing is, stop it, Dave. And so with Gran Turismo, I mean, yes, it's the racing element, so I should find that fun because it should be a quick reward because each race is a few minutes. It should be great, but the problem is that for me, the experience of the race is not exciting enough to generate that sense of reward. Unlike Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing, there is that excitement there because, the physics aren't, realistically accurate. You've got fun things to do to try and mess up your enemies. Things like, I got so bored, I just started crashing my car because that was more interesting. That was more interesting than going round the track. It's just no.
Yeah.
Do you? Out of interest, do you like Formula One?
No. Oh my god, no.
Okay. No, fair enough.
Who sits there for 4 hours watching cars go? No, I don't get it. I do not get that.
But you do like football.
Yeah.
Men running around a little grass field, kicking a ball at each other, sweating, going, teamwork.
Might be the men.
Yeah. Teamwork.
But that's sort of the peak of automotive engineering, sort of the very fast cars, people dying sometimes, not interesting.
No.
Explosions, I mean, there's sometimes explosions, Lisanne.
No.
Explosions?
Yeah. Okay,
Nah.
interesting.
I think
just,
what I'm
go
taking
on.
away from this is if they put options to choose different alloys into Pokemon, Lisanne would be all over that. I just swore. I should put
If
that
I
out
could
'cause-
customise my Pokemon, oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can appreciate that for someone who is interested in this, for someone who enjoys the genre, for someone who enjoys cars and every tiny little aspect of fine-tuning. You know, those people who buy kit cars and build them themselves. You know, I can totally see how this is the most amazingly perfect game for them ever. I can totally recognise that.
Do you guys
But I have no interest.
But if
I really don't care.
Do you guys in other games, out of interest on what she's saying there, do you guys in games, because I often find in games like Grand Theft Auto 4 and like Saints Row, I normally don't give two monkeys about customization.
Why do you keep using that phrase?
He just likes monkeys.
No, this time it was two monkeys.
Yeah, this time it was two monkeys.
Don't give a
Before
shit
it was
about
just
3
one.
monkeys.
I remember starting Skyrim, they're like, what race do you want to be? And I was like, I don't care, just make me human.
You are the
what
worst
skin
type
colour?
of gamer.
White.
No,
what hair
some-
colour?
I agree with
Brown.
him, some
just
people
give me
do
a
go
character.
into that a lot.
I come into video games to be someone else. I don't want to make my own person.
Like Mass Effect, I just chose the stock
Yeah.
character.
And like like racing games, normally what I'll do, if it's like, what colour do you want your car? Pink. What tyres do you want? Pink. What colour do you want? Pink. And I just got the
So you
biggest
just don't
pink.
care
Just click through.
Customization.
Yeah.
Just get it done. Yeah.
And
distract
it's
his,
funny, I don't
opponents.
have much interest in customization in games.
So do you generally prefer linear games to?
Well, yeah, like something like Tomb Raider, for example, I got really into, and Bioshock Infinite, because there's no element of like, what logo do you want to stick on your gun? I was like, I don't care. Really? I can't keep on giving.
Does my gun work? Fine, let's go.
The only thing I did actually in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, you can make your own emblem, and because other people can see it when you kill them, that made it more of an exciting thing. I put a Mega Man face on him. Everyone else had like penises and like pictures of like boobies. I had Mega Man. You know.
Keep classy, Jack.
But do you guys enjoy customization in video games?
If it's done well, I mean, obviously there will be certain, like, especially in the Modern Warfare games and stuff, superfluous stuff that's just boring. It's not interesting. Oh yeah, you can buy this DLC camo for $10.
When you say done
It's not
well, I
interesting.
mean, like say something like not Mass Effect, but when you say done well, like some games you don't even see your character. Like Skyrim, you don't even see him for the whole game.
Yeah, you do. You can go into third person view.
Well, I guess so. But
No
you
one
put a helmet
plays that
on.
way, though.
You put a helmet on. By the time
I
you got
mean,
halfway through the game,
the
you don't even see what you
best.
look like.
I think the best example of in-game customization right now is Dota 2, because you can buy all the items from the shop and they drop for you. And when you kill someone, they see the items, and some of the items like change your abilities, like the graphics and stuff. And it's nice to show off. So that's important when you're sort of customizing your game. It's important for other people to be able to see it and to be impressed by how awesome you are, which doesn't happen much in this game, obviously, because it's offline.
They've put that into after TF2 and Dota 2, they're doing it to everything now. Valve, I mean, they've
Hats.
put that
Giving
into
everyone hats.
yeah, basically, but they've put it into Counter Strike's Go now with weapon skins. So you can get a weapon that looks funky, or whatever. That there's a bright orange.
Does Counter Strike still have the ability that, I mean, back in the day it was when you press T to spray paint on a wall and
No.
you could load
I
up your
remember
own
that.
graphics
Sprays.
to it. Now that's the sort of thing in customization that I like. Leaving your impact on the environment, I like that. That's good. That makes me interested.
I don't
But,
think
like,
it does have
what
it.
colour sunglasses you want to wear can give monkeys.
But the gun skins in CS:GO, I was going to say,
Jack's catchphrase.
and
Couldn't give a
make me
monkey.
play it more. So it works for some people.
Any
I
other-
mean, yeah, just arbitrary, customizing something for the sake of customizing it is very, very irritating. But something important, then yeah. But it depends on the game as to what qualifies as important.
Different people are going to draw the line
Exactly.
arbitrary and important in different places.
Exactly.
So I think it's quite good
Exactly.
that it has it there. I mean, Lisanne, we were talking about how sort of you don't like the subject matter, but the game you actually think is quite fully featured. If you had to imagine you were like writing for a review site and you just obviously you don't care about the subject and they shouldn't have given this review to you, but you've got it and you had to sort of give it a score or just say something like a small sentence about it. Is it good? Do you think it's good? Even if you didn't enjoy it, do you think it's a good game?
Oh, I can appreciate how good of a game it is. It's obviously a very high quality game, and it did really well, and it made great use of the PS2's features at the time. I can totally appreciate that. I'm just not interested in it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can appreciate the quality and how good it is. It is a good game. I just find it dull and horrible.
I was going to say earlier that this highlights perfectly the difference between I don't like it and it's not good.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
People equate the two very often.
Definitely.
But they're not.
It's like the TV show Sharp. I know it's pretty good. I know I pretty like it a lot. I just can't be bothered.
Wait, what? TV
Sharp.
show? Sharp.
Sharp.
Sharp is an
I
old
just can't be bothered with it.
It's a
Scene Bean one.
Sean
Oh,
Bourne.
it's got Scene Bean in it.
Yeah,
Bourne.
Scene Bean.
I haven't got the
Sean
time.
Bourne.
I'm sure it's fantastic, but I just ain't got time.
I've
for
never
that.
heard of it.
You don't like Sean Bourne?
Huh?
Yeah,
you don't like
it's
Sean
old.
Bourne?
He's
Might be
in
boring,
the
though.
old British Navy. Is that the old British Navy
Yeah.
he is? Yeah,
I'm
he's
sure
on
it's
a ship
fantastic.
the whole time. It's supposed to be amazing.
Same thing about Mad Men. I'm sure it's fantastic, but I just keep looking at it and going,
First two seasons were great. 3 all went wrong. So yeah, don't.
The Mad One
bother
was really
after.
good though. You should watch the first 2.
no,
Enjoy television.
I'll get
Yeah.
around to it. Same with Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3.
I'm watching
I've got Mass
Boardwalk
Effect 1, 2
Empire
and
at the
3.
moment.
Not even
Boardwalk
putting them in my
Empire.
computer yet.
I started that, but I didn't like the pilot very much.
Oh no, stick with it for a couple more. But yeah, Boardwalk Empire is amazing.
Anyone else? I got through halfway through season 2 and gave up as well. Didn't have time for that.
TV grade.
Anyone got any more thing more they want to say about Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec? No? Good. Well, we can go into trivia. Oh, that's not even a thing, is it? Trivia.
You did the retrograde voice.
I did the retrograde voice for trivia. Trivia. Thank you.
Trivia closed.
So
I closed it, Jack. You can't do it anymore.
He closed it.
I closed it. You can't
gotta
do it
open
anymore.
it again,
You
Jack.
gotta open it again.
you know what you got to do is when I say trivia, start making a point, then I go trivia close.
Hey,
No, wait,
what are you
I-
doing? He closed it. You got to
I
open it
closed
again.
trivia.
Do I have to reopen it again?
Yeah.
Trivia.
Okay.
It received amazing scores, 94.54% on game rankings and 95 out of 100 on Metacritic, placing it in among the top 50 games of all time on any multi-platform site and top 10 of the PlayStation 2 titles.
There's no point in telling you how well this game scored. Everyone knows, but let me tell you the scores.
Every time.
So wait, Jack, was that a website that was reviewing a game to 2 decimal points?
Game rankings,
That's
94.54%.
specific.
I'm guessing
Wow.
it's because they average it. So it's
The game obviously also frequently appears on top 100 lists pretty much all the time. Due to its critically acclaimed reception, a short version called Gran Turismo Concept was released in various parts of the world except for North America in 2002. It included new model vehicles unveiled during famous Asian and European motor shows. And I remember them doing that. Do you remember that, doing a concept?
I remember them
Really
doing it for Gran
strange.
Turismo 4.
Yeah,
and also they
was-
did it for GT5.
It took them
as well.
so long to make the game. Now, like, we'll give you a little teaser.
Yeah, they keep doing that.
really
They're a very
weird.
strange development company.
Oh, really strange. Upon completing the game, the player was given a save game with all licenses completed and 10 million credits for Gran Turismo 3 to just buy all the cars again. I don't know why.
I think that's saying if you complete concept, then you get
Anyone know what
stuff for the main game.
Gran Turismo actually means?
Grand Tour.
Yeah, pretty much. Italian for Grand Tour or Grand Touring.
We say pretty much, but that's
No,
exactly
it
the
is. Yeah,
definition.
exactly.
Listen, he couldn't give the monkeys.
So
James couldn't give 2 monkeys.
there are 185 cars in the game. This is in comparison to GT1, which has 173, GT2, which has 650. So a big chop down to get to GT3
That
for
must have been,
185.
It
versions
must
of
have
the
just been
same
far
car.
too
Yeah.
big.
GT4 then had 700, and then GT5 boasts over 1,000 cars.
Yeah, but like 200 of those are Nissan Skylines.
Oh,
so-
I really don't care.
I went into a forum.
Just give me a car
Can
and
you
I'll
see your
drive
legs
it.
when you look down? That's all I care about.
I went
You
in-
can't in this game. You can't.
That's
Ridiculous.
really important. That's so important to me in a
Joe
game.
likes being able to see his character's legs.
If I'm running along shooting
leg
Space
man.
Marines and I look down and go, where the hell are my legs? That's it, gone. Game's over for me.
Because he falls over.
Then I went on
He's looking
to
down.
a pretty hardcore Gran Turismo website where there was actually a forum thread of people going, anyone got some trivia for Gran Turismo 3? And these guys were going mental. The Chevrolet Camaro LM race car wears out its oil in approximately 130 miles rather than the standard 175.
Oh.
Get
Don't care.
out. You know what
That's
I mean?
rubbish.
Shut the door.
Wait, you have to replace oil in this game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can also wash your car.
I think there
You
is-
can wash your virtual car,
You're
which
saying all
isn't
this.
dirty.
Nowadays, it'd
You're
be a
saying
Facebook
is
app
that
and they
there
charge you
is
£10
a massive market for like farm simulation and plane simulation, and there are people
Apparently,
that love
that market
doing.
is German.
Oh, I know. I
Yeah,
know.
Germany love it. There is like my dad loved Train Simulator, but like I think there would be a massive market for games that do incredibly mundane things,
Definitely.
Oh, no,
like
there
pumping
are.
petrol.
And they exist. Have you not seen, what is it? There's a farm one. Which
There's
is,
like a street
it's a
sweeper
combine. There's a
simulator.
combine harvester one.
Oh, there's loads.
Where you harvest all day.
I always compare. I always think there's a big market for more realism in games, but I mean really boring realism, like getting up and going for work.
Washing
stuff
the
like that.
dishes.
And the best example I can always think of is Grand Theft Auto 4. I'll be racing along like mental, being chased by policemen, but the moment I get to a toll booth, I go slow down, brake, throw in a bit of money, wait for the bad to come up, drive on again. I always do it. I don't know why. Yeah. And have you ever been playing a game like Grand Theft Auto 4 where you think, I'm going to try drive normally for a while? So
Yeah.
you get to
Yeah,
the-
I've done that.
Lasts about 10 seconds.
I remember watching, I can't remember what it
Good
was,
things
a
jump
friend-
out at you. You have to hit them.
I remember watching a friend of mine who was not into gaming at all play Grand Theft Auto 4, and he actually drove like normally He didn't know you could jump lights or drive on pavement. And I was like, what are you doing? Is this not the way you play the game? I was like, no. Oh my God.
You've just stolen this car, dude.
It's funny, this sort of, sometimes people come into games who aren't gamers, this realism. I remember my brother playing Half-Life 2, and there's a bit where right near the start the guy says, get in there. And you look in, there's like a chair covered in blood. And my brother went, no, I'm not going in there. Because I know it's like a scripted sequence, and the guard just stands there. And my brother was like, I'm going to run away. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to get murdered. And I was like, no, just go in there. That's how you progress in the game. He was like, no, because there's blood all over the floor. I've just got off a train. I've not done anything wrong. And this guy wants to beat me with a rod. So,
logic.
In the NTSC version of GT3, the Dodge Viper GTS RT Morica has a racing muffler you can buy for 0 credits.
Wow.
However, it has absolutely no effect on the horsepower or the torque output of the car.
Oh my God!
These guys were going.
I don't know what those words mean.
In GT2, they weren't allowed. They weren't given the license for Porsches, so instead all the Porsches are called Roughs for some reason.
RUF.
Some of the songs that are in the soundtrack include you got Snoop Dogg with Dogg's Turismo 3, She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult, Buck Rogers by Fide, 7 Days in the Sun by Fide. In fact, Just Today by Fide. Fide got a good one in this one. Shark by Ash, I thought it was quite good. Stone Free by Jimi Hendrix. How dare you? And Are You Gonna Go My Way by Lenny Kravitz. That's a great
That's a
song.
tune.
Thank you.
No, Lenny Kravitz is not your
That's
version.
pretty much all my trivia. It's not really a game. I mean, I could give you loads more of car facts.
Jack, can you,
but
just for the benefit of the listeners, can you list all of the cars?
I was going to print out and list them all out, all 185 of them, and then I was
And all
bored.
variations. And actually all interchangeable
It was very
parts.
interesting, though, people talking about on that forum about how you can get to 85% complete without ever buying a car. You know what I'm saying? And then to complete the game 100%, you only really need to buy about 4 cars. And that is kind of, I find that a lot weird when I was playing Gran Turismo. But anyway, that brings us near the end of the show, so we've got to go into the Retrograde part of the show. James, you chose it. What are we grading this on?
If this game was
Axe.
famous,
I was going to pick Axe.
a famous English author,
Oh, good.
what
God.
author would it be and why?
I don't know any English.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough.
J.K. Rowling, because she kept on knocking out books, and they were always fantastic, and they always got better, and they sold millions.
Can
And in
I?
the end, Jesus
And they're
did
about
it.
a wizard.
Nobody else can use Harry Potter.
Exactly.
So,
Harry Potter. Gran Turismo is the
don't
Harry
try
Potter.
and leapfrog
Gran
on that.
Turismo
No, it
is
wasn't.
the Harry Potter of the book world.
Interesting. I'm
Don't
gonna go with
insult Harry Potter.
I'm gonna go with J.R.R. Tolkien because it's old. It's hard to get into. It's very specific, but it was influential. It was kind of seminal, and it was sort of it was the start of the fantasy genre being taken seriously, just like Gran Turismo was the start of the simulator genre being taken kind of seriously.
Smooth.
I'm going to go with C.S. Lewis because he's an English author I can think of.
C.S. Lewis.
Chronicles of Narnia.
He's from Sunderland.
Is he?
Funny enough, I'm reading an autobiography about
Trivia.
C.S. Lewis. Very dodgy man, hung around with a lot of children.
Yeah,
but there's
he
no
was
proof.
weird.
There's no proof that he ever kind of was a paedophile or anything like that. But it's really fascinating.
Yeah, okay, I'm going for C.S. Lewis because there's no proof that Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec is a paedophile.
What was your actual reason for choosing C.S. Lewis?
It's the only English author I can think of that I knew relatively well because I love Narnia.
Narnia.
That's
Wait.
C.S. Lewis, right?
Yeah, Narnia.
Yeah.
Lion, the Witch of the Wardrobe.
You think of
AKA
Carol
Jesus
Lewis?
done it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Carol Lewis?
I'm
It's all
reading
Lewis
symbolism.
I'm reading
Lewis
that.
Carroll was Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm reading an autobiography on him. Sorry, C.S. Lewis isn't a paedophile.
C.S. Lewis was like an ultra-Christian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
C.S. Lewis was hardcore Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry, I got mixed up again. I'm reading an autobiography on the guy and I can't even remember his name. Brilliant. Luzanne.
See, before Jack said it, I was going to say J.K. Rowling again, but for a different, for a different reason.
But now that he has said it, we both know that you can't say J.K. Rowling. So,
I was
just
going to
said
say
it.
it for a different reason.
but you can't say J.K. Rowling because Jack said J.K.
It's
Rowling.
actually a novelist.
It would have to-
Did you say novelist or author?
I said author.
Excellent. Samuel Pepys. He wrote the first dictionary,
Yeah.
which is not an entertaining read. However, it is very factual. It is very accurate.
Well made.
Very well made.
Got good reviews.
Got brilliant reviews. Very useful. Everyone, has an interest to differing degrees.
History lesson time.
Yeah.
I thought Samuel Pepys wrote a diary
He did.
that he coded.
And he did the dictionary.
And it was kind of a record of the Great Plague, Black Plague, and the
Yeah,
Great
and the
Fire of London.
yeah. He
did this thing that
I
some
didn't know he
authors
did the
do.
dictionary as well.
Yeah,
did
he
this
wrote
thing
the
that-
first dictionary. Have you not watched Blackadder?
God, he was really busy, wasn't he?
He actually wrote more than one book.
Yeah.
Unusually.
Have you not watched that episode of Blackadder where Samuel Pepys comes to visit and they accidentally burn the dictionary and they've got to
No.
rewrite it?
I
it's
didn't know he wrote the
brilliant.
dictionary.
Yeah, he wrote the dictionary.
Imagine
So yes, I say Samuel
loser.
Pepys'
Okay.
dictionary.
Interesting.
That's the
Imagine
second time I've picked dictionary. Guess what the other one was for?
Transport Tycoon.
Yes.
Go back and listen.
I'm really pleased with myself, actually.
You
That was
hate
brilliant.
dictionaries, huh?
I don't hate them.
God,
they're
they're
just
so
not an
dull.
entertaining read. They're
don't know.
useful, they're factual, they're accurate,
Turns out
realistic,
Turns out the zebra did.
but they're not that interesting, they're not that fun
Love that joke.
for me.
imagine reviewing a dictionary.
If I was an etymologist, then I would love it.
True.
But I'm not. Anthony.
I've already done mine.
Yeah, but you're an etymologist, you like words.
Oh, well, I'm not an etymologist, but I do like reading about etymology. I'm an
Okay.
amateur etymologist.
Where does the word amateur come from?
No idea,
I see.
because I'm not a professional.
Latin. It's the Latin for he do not know.
It's definitely not Latin.
He do
You
not
do
know.
not know.
Exactly. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, you can visit our website at retrogradeshow.com to find a back catalogue of all our episodes, including the Transport Tycoon one, which is fantastic. Best game we've done so far. You can also... Hot air balloon just came in the window. You can also find us on Twitter at Retrograde Show, and if you can always enjoy the show, please take the time. Fumble my words. If you enjoy the show, please take time to write a review on iTunes. Every reviewer for us on iTunes gets a free Retrograde.
Don't forget,
badge.
if you want to enter our competition, you have to retweet our
Yes.
competition tweet, which will be going out in a few
In
days.
the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to be back in 2 weeks playing. Oh, yes, it's time. We're finally. People out there listening are going to go, oh, it's that time. Doom. Just
Couldn't give a
Doom.
monkeys.
No,
Oh, I was
this-
going to say that.
no, save it for the
Who
next
chose that
episode.
one?
I did.
You did. Interesting.
Why did I choose it?
Yeah, why did you choose it?
I
don't
chose
know.
it because it's one of the greatest games ever made, and you should probably listen next week because James McFadden doesn't really like Doom.
Well,
So me and
it's
him are
not so
gonna have
much.
a
It's not so
fisty
much.
fight.
I don't like Doom. It's the fact that it's a terrible game that is almost
Oh,
devoid of any
dear.
artistic merit. But hey,
Well,
whatever.
Tune in next week for that
Yeah.
knockout
Says he who
round.
just championed Gran Turismo 3. Anyway.
Yeah. You're telling me.
No, James, it's fine. No, James, it's fine. I'm going to be on your side in the episode anyway, so don't worry
I'm
about
so
it.
excited about
Guys,
this one.
let's not leave it on a low note.
I'm going to take you to the cleaners.
I'm gonna clean you, son.
Oh!
You need it, dirty boy.
Hey, this has gone somewhere else.
Doom. So anyway, make sure you play that before then. I mean, just play it anyway. Play it when we're not even doing it. So it's great. And that's a goodbye from me, Jet Marshall. A goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
Bye.
Goodbye from Lizanne Fisher.
Bye.
And a goodbye from James McFadden.
Listen, I know what you're thinking. It's the end of the show. You're going to turn off, but wait for 1 second. Just listen, right? Now, we've asked you to follow us on Facebook. No, wait, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. You're thinking, no, we're not going to do that because that's not the type of thing I usually do. But do it because it'll make us really happy and you'll feel good.